I've got an idea, Ginge, because you are a little crunchy. And I don't think you're like full on crunch, but I think it's probably becoming more and more all-consuming.
What brought this up? I wonder.
Oh, yeah. If I'm sick at night, I just want a little bit of NyQuil.
This is one thing where we totally disagreed. I had no clue it was such a big issue. Whenever Jairus had a man cold.
Okay.
When he's had a man cold, I've said, no, don't take NyQuil. That's so bad for you.
Okay, let's talk about this because were you guys crunchy before crunchy was cool? Like, talk about the Duggars. What was your approach to it? What's going on, guys? We're back for another episode of the Jinger and Jeremy podcast. I am Jeremy.
Are we going to do that?
I keep forgetting that that's the Roll-Offs thing. You should go listen to the Roll-Offs podcast. They gave us a shout out the other day.
Raising Heights. And they're awesome. We love those guys. Ginger, talk about it. Let's talk about it.
We don't have that dialed in yet.
Okay, so
exactly,
this morning.
But I want you to talk about life.
I will talk about it. I'll talk about life. So this morning I got up and I was like, wow, I'm going to do just great. 6:40 or whatever. I woke up earlier than 6:40. I got up around 6:40.
Yeah, I wonder if 6:40s are considered early to our listeners.
It's early. It was dark. And I got up.
Defines early. I like that.
For me, it does.
Yeah.
But anyhow, it was just one of those nights. I don't know. I woke up a couple times in the middle of the night, so I was already tired. But this morning when I popped out of bed, I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get ready. We're going to podcast today. I'm going to do my hair.
Your hair looks great.
Thank you.
So you said a moment ago, like before we got on, like, oh, I meant to do all this. I'm like, yeah, it looks great. But did you not do it? You're saying you didn't do it?
I washed my hair and it was very frizzy, and then I put it up in this mess. And
so I like
just
that
listening
look.
to audio, it's just like I pulled my hair back in a bun.
So I like that look, and I think that qualifies as your hair being done.
Thank you.
But maybe I'm not. I don't know.
But Finn, he is next level right now. He is
Mr. Finnegan.
Climbing on things. He's 6 months. I guess he's going to be 7 months soon. When is he going to be 7 months soon? Ish. But he's been crawling everywhere. And now he's trying to climb our step and climbing up on this little chair we have. He just puts his hands up and stands fully up. So at 6 months, I'm like not ready for that. It's so cute, but at the same time, he's more active.
Yeah,
and then he's cutting his second tooth. So he has one tooth fully popped through. His second one's coming up. And it's very cute, but it's also like a little tough. So I was going to try to put him down for a nap before this podcast. And he just kept screaming. Poor baby.
Poor guy. Well, I guess I'll talk about it.
Yeah, you talk about it.
I don't really have a lot to talk about.
Your arm.
Oh, I got hit by a car the other day.
In other news, he got hit by a car.
Yeah. So I was walking to an event and I was going through a crosswalk. And so obviously this arm is incapacitated. This arm is healthy. So I was walking. There was a stop sign. The person stopped. They were in like an SUV. And I didn't make eye contact with them, which is my fault. Always make eye contact. And I'm holding something in my, like on top of my broken hand. And so I start to walk and they nudged forward, kind of like what you would do if you see your buddy in the parking lot and you try to mess with him. So like you nudge forward a little bit and they go, ah, ha, ha, like you're going to hit me. So that's what I thought it was. Like, oh, nudge forward a little bit. And then they like hit the accelerator, like they're going through the stop sign. So they hit my leg. I turn and I slam the hood with my other hand, which then my wrist was hurting from that. I'm like, great. I'm going to imagine just walking around like this, like my one little finger's free from each hand. So that's my first thought is like, great, I'm going to break my hand or my wrist. And then the driver's just sitting there staring like shocked, like deer in headlights.
Wow.
So I just kept walking, thanking God it wasn't worse.
Insane. You've never broken a bone before this. You fractured some things.
I've never gotten hit by a car.
Never gotten hit by a car. And could you imagine being the person behind the wheel? Like, oh no. Then she realizes you have already a broken hand. You're in a cast on one arm and the other hand that you hit her.
I know.
Man, that's just insane.
I hope I didn't dent the car. It was a weird social interaction. I wonder if people have had this moment like, it wasn't, it was like we stared at each other. She was like shocked. I was shocked because I realized, oh, this wasn't like this. I just got hit by a car. I just kept walking. And then she just drove on. So I wonder if people have had interactions like that where it's not a serious, accident, because obviously if I'd been injured or something, I think things would have taken a different turn. Like we would have had to like stop and get out of the car and stuff. But
that almost happened to Evie too recently. Yeah. So I was at a crosswalk area and there was like a big hill where cars come down and they're supposed to stop. And the car slowed down and I thought that they saw her. They didn't. She was holding my hand and they came like zipping around and I just grabbed her and pulled her back.
It was like a foot or two away.
But right beside her. They didn't see her and it was so scary.
Yeah. And we are very diligent. And I think most parents are like this listening. Like we are hyper vigilant in parking lots.
Oh yeah. We're like helicopter parents. You don't walk. You don't run. You don't walk by yourself.
We try not to be helicopter parents in normal life.
No.
But when we step foot onto a parking lot,
that's our thing. We're vigilant. And even though she was holding my hand, the car still didn't see her and came zipping around right past me. And I was surprised because I'm like, did they not see me? Were they on their phone? I don't know. But they were also shocked. And when they got right up by her, I was like, whoa, I made noise. And I think they heard me. And so then they kind of like slammed on their brakes, but then they didn't even stop and say anything. Yeah. They just kind of sped away.
Well, there's like there's a weird embarrassment.
Yeah.
This was probably last year. I was going through a grocery store parking lot and there was a weird diagonal crosswalk. So it wasn't a crosswalk where people are coming out of the grocery store and just go straight. Mm-hmm. It was like diagonal. And I'm not kidding. It was in line with on the windshield, the
where you can't see.
Where it was like in line with that. And there was a guy walking. And I was driving. I did not see him. Mm-hmm. So I'm going. And then the second you do see him is when he's in front. So I slam the brakes. And I wasn't going fast because it was a parking lot, but it's awkward enough where people around hear the brakes slam. They see the car kind of jolt. They see the person in the crosswalk like stunned. Mm-hmm. And so it brings attention.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, like,
embarrassment.
I was embarrassed. So I had to go to a restaurant right next to the grocery store. I drove to the other end. It was like a strip mall. I drove to the other end of the complex.
Goodness, that's
parked
crazy.
like 100 yards away and then walked over.
And then they were like, that's you, the guy in the cast.
Well,
I saw you. No, I'm kidding.
I didn't want them to be like, you almost hit that guy. You know?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just act like I'm leaving.
Oh my goodness.
But like, there's got to be that sort of embarrassment.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It totally makes sense.
And then to actually hit someone, like I hit this person's hood hard. Like,
it's good that you let them know.
Well, it wasn't intentional. It was just my reaction.
I think I would have done that too on purpose.
Yeah, it was like stopping.
Hey, stop.
I was like turning my body to like stop the car.
That's insane.
As if I could stop the car.
You should just jump out of the way. Jump into the bush.
See, that would have been a better reaction.
That's crazy. Oh my goodness.
So anyway, that's
insane.
life.
Okay, we talked about it.
Yeah, I like this segment more and more. It's growing on me.
Okay, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I've got an idea, Ginge, because here's the reality is, and I'm curious how you would define this, but you are a little crunchy. And I don't think you're like full on crunch, but you've got crunchiness growing. And I think it's probably becoming more and more all consuming.
What brought this up? I wonder.
Well, I was thinking.
Was it Felicity? Her ear infection?
No.
The other day?
Oh, yeah, but that's a good conversation because you didn't want her to take the antibiotic.
I want to take a break from this episode to tell you about Brooklyn Bedding.
And what did you just tell me before we did this ad? So I said, all right, Jen, first up, we're doing an ad for Brooklyn Bedding.
Oh my goodness. I was literally sitting there this morning as I woke up. I was laying in bed thinking about Brooklyn beds. And I was like, I'm so glad we have this bed. I thought back to previous mattresses we've had, and they were just not comfortable.
So people think we do these ads, Ginge, and they're like, oh, they just get like, here, read these ads, but they don't really care about this stuff, or they're just trying to sell us a bill of goods or whatever.
Yeah.
Not true. If it's on this podcast, we love it.
We had some that we got just off of typical mattress places, and they would never fully do the job.
They're the worst.
When we
until
got,
Brooklyn bedding.
When we got our bed in the mail, it was so thick, so heavy.
Oh my gosh.
But
awesome.
It's so quality. And we had this morning 4 of us in bed because you and I, and then Finn, I nursed Finn and he was laying in the bed.
Yeah.
And then Felicity came into our bed. And so it was crazy, but there was room for all of us.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Okay, Brooklyn Bedding, they handcraft every mattress in their Arizona factory. No middlemen, no gimmicks, just top tier quality, honest pricing, real American craftsmanship for a better night's sleep. They're not lying. Here's our call to action. Go to brooklynbedding.com. Use our promo code JJ, just the 2 letters, JJ, at checkout to get 30% off site-wide.
And they offer a 120-night comfort trial so you can return it or swap it hassle-free.
brooklynbedding.com, code JJ.
We want to take a break from this episode to tell you about Function Health.
Okay, your immune system is supposed to protect you, but sometimes it misfires. And in autoimmune disorders, the body starts attacking its own tissues. And that sounds scary because it is scary and it's a very real problem. But the good news, you can actually test and track early indicators of autoimmune disorders.
What I love about Function Health option is that you can track over 100 plus biomarkers from hormones to toxins, markers of heart health, inflammation, and stress.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible to get that 360 view of what's happening inside your body.
Yeah, even your normal doctor checkups rarely check for these early indicators of autoimmune misfiring.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. They will, if you go to your doctor, they will usually only see in a checkup once the symptoms are severe. And so Function Health is getting you ahead of the game. It really is functional health for your body. So what you want to do is go to functionhealth.com/ginger. Use our code ginger100 at sign up, and the first 1,000 of our listeners who sign up will get $100 credit toward their membership. So go to functionhealth.com/ginger and use code ginger100, and you'll get $100 off if you're in that first 1,000. Even if you're not in that first 1,000, there's nothing you shouldn't invest to get your health on track and to be aware of how you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Now back to the episode. Okay, so yes, I'm growing more and more crunchy, but I don't think I'm like imbalanced in it. I have, maybe I should go a little more crunchy than I am right now.
On the crunch scale, where do you think you are from 1 to 10? Where are you putting yourself? And one would be like, eat anything, all medicine, like doesn't you think about it? 10 would be what? Like what would be the 10 crunchy?
You never go out to eat because you're afraid of seed oils and everything.
Okay.
You won't
ground
ever
your
eat
feet in the morning.
Yes.
Like
You'll never eat anything out ever. You won't let your kids have one piece of cake at a birthday party. On the rare occasion they
essential oils.
Yes, for everything.
Yeah.
So we're not there.
Okay. So where are you in the scale? Just give us a rating.
I feel like I'm in the middle.
Are you think 4.5 is good rating?
Yeah,
you think 6, 7 is like you'd be a 6, 7?
Not yet. I kind of wish I was a little bit more, but we're on the lower end of that. But I'm more aware of what's in our house. And so I have switched all of our cleaning products pretty much over to healthier things.
Right.
But mind you, we still have, we've started having some cleaning people come in just even for once every 2 weeks and just to do like a deep clean for me, because that's something in this season of life I feel like is a necessity, especially, and as it's approaching flu season, I'm like, okay, there's so many germs. I do want our house cleaner in this season, and we host a lot. We host college students all the time. So it's helpful if I have just an overhaul, like deep clean, because I do all the housework every day. I'm doing laundry, dishes, cleaning, sweeping, mopping, vacuuming, all those things. But to have somebody come in every once in a while is worth it for us in the season. So we're doing that. But I don't have them bring cleaning products in that are clean. And I've thought about that because when they leave, I don't like the smell of Fabuloso in our house.
Really?
I don't like it because I'm like, no, that's not healthy. Now we're bringing in breathing in the toxic chemicals.
So real quick, I walk in after the cleaning, people are here and go, wow, it smells so good.
Because it smells.
Yeah.
Our cleaning products don't smell because they're non-scented and they're healthy.
I'm not crunchy.
But this is it. So I have tried to get away from using a lot of things that are not healthy in our house. Mm-hmm. And for instance, the other day, this is part of the conversation. We hosted a wedding at our house, which was very fun and special. It was going great. at the end of the wedding, Felicity had been on the dance floor and she was dancing so hard. She comes inside and is in excruciating pain. And mind you, this is our social butterfly. She cannot, like, if people are around, she begs us to stay awake. She's like, do I have to go to bed? I know I have to get up early, but I just want to stay awake because I love our friends. So this is Felicity. Well, she comes in and she says, I need to go to bed. It's like 8:30 and she wants to go to bed. And I'm like, what's wrong? And she said, my ear. It's hurting. I need to lay down. So when she goes to lay down, she can't lay down because it's hurting so bad. And she was in so much pain. So I was like, okay, this is time for pain meds. So I had a bottle of like kids chewable ibuprofen. So I gave her 2 tablets, which is her dose. And she took that and I waited.
Even that is like, even that's a lot for you because you don't even like doing medicine.
I don't like doing medicine. I'm anti-medicine.
And that's kind of your upbringing, which I want to get into, but I want you to finish the story.
Well, we did
even that, like,
Tylenol.
she's in, right, but it's like, you really wait. Like you will have a headache all day.
Yes.
And I'll say, why don't you take some medicine? You're like, oh yeah, I guess I could.
But I don't
like,
want to.
You've had a headache for 10 hours. So anyway, I knew when you told me that you had given her 2 ibuprofens, because I was at an event. I was like, oh, this is serious. If Ginger's giving her medicine right away.
I gave her medicine. She's in pain. She tells me, give me the whole bottle. And I was like,
oh my goodness, she hates medicine.
She hates it.
So for her to say that.
She cannot stand taking anything. Even if she's like,
we have a little kids book like that talks about why medicine tastes bad, but what it does, it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
And she's still like,
she can't.
She still hates medicine.
So I gave her those and she's like, give me the whole bottle. I was like, who are you? And no, I'm not giving you the whole bottle. You're going to take just your dose. But she was in so much pain. I was like, okay, I don't know what happened. So I asked a couple other people at the wedding as it was like winding down. I said, is there a doctor here? Do we have somebody who could just peek and like look with our little ear looker thing? I don't even know what it's called. But they were like, no, we don't have anybody here now. So all the people at the wedding told me, I think you should take her to the ER because she may have burst, her eardrum may have burst or something, whatever. And it burst. Is that right? I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I looked up the symptoms she was having on ChatGPT and it said, take her to the ER right away. And so the symptom, like even after being on meds, it did not go away. The pain did not go away for an hour. And so she was sitting up and then she'd like lay down in pain. She'd say, I just need this to go away. This is the worst pain I've ever had. So I end up like, okay, I texted you. You said your event was winding down as well. So you come home, you take her to the ER. By the time she gets there, she said that it had popped. So I don't know if she had pressure.
Yeah, so I took her in.
Ear.
She was feeling better. Her eyes were bloodshot from crying, but she wasn't like in active pain. I take her in, and as we're in line getting checked in for the ER, she said, Dad, my ear popped. And it feels better. And then she tells me, but we should still get it checked out. It's like, thanks, Felicity. So we go in and yeah, that was my fear was that something, because I had very terrible ears as a kid. I had the worst ears my ear specialist had ever seen.
It's insane.
I should be deaf, I think. Like my ears were very, very bad.
Yeah,
so for years, I would need to take eardrops. And I remember, I think they've done a better job with these things now, but there was a certain set of eardrops I would take. My mom would literally have to like sit on me on the couch. And I remember this. I was probably Felicity's age, if not younger.
Did they hurt?
Yeah, this moment it would drop in, it was agonizing pain. So my mom would have to sit on me and put these eardrops on me, like, and sit on me, like not squishing me, but to keep me from like fighting because I would not want these. But it was the only thing. I think they've come up with like better things now, but it was like the only remedy to like save my ears. And then she would put these eardrops in and it would hurt like nothing else.
That's crazy.
I had awful ears. And I should even go and ask my mom, like, what did I have? Because I don't even remember that. It's like part of my childhood and I don't.
You had a lot of things though as a kid. Like you had asthma, you had allergies.
I almost died from asthma.
Yeah.
I remember my mom, I couldn't breathe and my mom was running around to the neighbors' homes. This is before cell phones. We had one car in the family. Couldn't get a hold of my dad, I don't think, because he was probably in a meeting and the church phone didn't answer, So she's knocking on Miss Rose's door up the street. And I remember, I don't know if it was our car, if my dad came back or someone else. My mom threw me into the back of a car, zipped off to the hospital. I could not breathe. I was like having an asthma attack.
Insane.
So, wow, you're triggering like all these childhood memories that should be.
But that's where, see, like with things like that, modern medicine needs to be used. And that's where we're so thankful you have it. Because for inhalers, things like that, where it's like your asthma is so severe. Yes, there can be other things that play into it, diet, whatever, with some things that you couldn't.
But the reality is, for centuries, people would just die from that.
Yes. Yeah. And so that's
so modern medicine you're not so crunchy that you're like against modern medicine. But this started because they wanted to give her an antibiotic because she had an ear infection.
Yes, they wanted to give it to her right away. Right. And then I was thinking about it and I was like, I don't want her to have an antibiotic because those can really just mess up your gut.
Well, they just clear out the good and the bad.
Yes, all the bad bacteria, all the good bacteria.
Makes you vulnerable.
Gone. And it just, especially before flu season, all of that, where you're going to be encountering more sicknesses. You do not want your good bacteria is getting cleared out too. So then I was like, well, I don't want to give her an antibiotic unless it's absolutely necessary. We want to take a break from this episode to tell you about Poncho.
Okay, I'm very excited about this brand partnership. This is a new one for us. I am wearing this new Poncho shirt that I just got.
It is super cool.
Oh, it is so comfortable. I've got like 5 or 6 of them now.
The one thing I'm sad about, Poncho, is that they're not women's clothes yet.
Yet. I wasn't sad about that, by the way, listeners. So just so you know. It's like I said, on our podcast, we advertise stuff we like. So I wanted some samples first. I got these shirts and immediately went, oh, this is my new favorite shirt.
They are so high quality. I was feeling them. The quality is so thick. It's soft. It's impressive, actually. So if your guy, he lives in denim, or he wants something that he needs like an upgrade, you know he needs an upgrade, go ahead and buy this for him, especially with the holidays coming up. It's the perfect time to get something that feels like this material feels like it's already broken in. It's soft. It feels like a lived in feel.
And it's something he'll actually wear. So like I got these shirts and was so excited. So if you want your husband, your boyfriend, your son, your uncle, your dad to get a gift that he's super stoked about, and it's just a shirt. And you go, it's just a shirt. Nah, these aren't just a shirt. So here's what you want to do. Go to ponchooutdoors.com/ginger and enter your email for $10 off of your first order. That's Poncho, Poncho, outdoors.com/ginger for $10 off and free shipping. And when they ask how you heard about them, let them know that the Ginger and Jeremy podcast sent them to you. I'll say this, they're true to size. I'm an XL Slim, ordered XL Slim, fits perfectly. I love my shirts. If you want to get a gift that they'll love, ponchooutdoors.com/ginger.
Now back to the episode. So her pain, actually, she did not complain of pain at all for the next 3 days. She hasn't had any pain. And so I texted Audrey Roloff, who is very crunchy, and she sent me...
What is she on the scale of 1 to 10?
You'll have to ask her, Audrey. What are you? She's very crunchy.
I guess 8.5 Audrey, but we'll see.
She's maybe 9. She's very good at knowing all the things. I wish I knew more. So anyhow, she was like, yes, here's what you do. Here are these drops you can buy. So I ordered them next day on Amazon, and they seem to be working. It's great. She said that they've worked like a charm for their kids. You put these drops in. I'll have to link them below and let you know if it's working for her. We'll put a lot of links to all the crunchy stuff in the show notes here. It's great because they were not expensive, and it's just like 2 drops of oil that you put in their ear. It's like I don't remember what it's called. See, I don't even know what it's called because that's me. But I'll look it up and put it in there. It's great. Let's talk about this because you grew up, your family, crunchy is kind of like this recent term, but you had a different approach to medicine than I did. And my family as well did not just pump us with medicine all the time. Mm-hmm. We weren't by any means crunchy, but it was like, my mom wasn't just throwing Tylenol at us. But
You have like an aversion to it. And like I said, you'll have a headache all day and I'll be like, pop an ibuprofen. And you're like, no, it's like not your first thought, which is good. But you grew up, were you guys crunchy before crunchy was cool? Like talk about the Duggars. What was your approach to it?
No, so we were not on that side of things. We would use medicine, but like if we had a fever, we'd take ibuprofen or Tylenol, which you don't have to do. But I think part of that was because we had febrile seizures in our family. And so quite a few of the kids, when they got a fever, they'd immediately get a seizure. And it was scary. And
Did you ever have a seizure?
No. I think that Jessa, maybe Joseph, was it Joy and Josie? Quite a few of the kids had febrile seizures when their fevers got high.
Yeah.
It's when your fever spikes. I think it's when it raises so quickly.
Yeah.
Or like if you're in a warm building, this happened a couple times with the kids. In the winter, they had a fever. They didn't know it. They were at a restaurant. Their fever spiked really fast. And then they went out into the cold air and it sent them into a seizure because of that change of temp. So that happened with a couple of the kids. And it was very terrifying because your body is naturally, when it's seizing, it's like moving. But the only thing is with some kids, you're supposed to let the body like just do its thing when it's seizing like that from a febrile seizure. I don't know about normal ones, just make sure they don't hit their head. But with Josie, I don't know if this was because she was premature. She had a couple different seizures. I remember we were on the road once. We were like parked somewhere on a road trip in our big bus. She was sitting in the back watching a show probably or something with the kids, the younger kids. And she had a seizure out of nowhere. And one of the kids was like, Josie's, like, I don't think they knew it was a seizure, but they're like, she's moving a lot, whatever. My mom like ran back. She was having a seizure. So every time that happens, you call the ambulance, But there was one time even at the house where that happened. And she had a seizure and her tongue was blocking her airway. So then they were trying to hold her mouth open and hold her tongue down so that way she wouldn't block her airway. You don't want to swallow your tongue. But it's crazy because you're supposed to let them seize, like move. But she, went code blue. I feel like it was on the show, but maybe not. But it was so scary. Like, thankfully, we had a couple of the siblings were trained as first responders because they worked for the fire department. And that was helpful because they were able to know what to do in that situation. And she was fine, but it's so scary. So with things like that, when it runs in the family, and I don't know if that's hereditary or not, but like it for sure happened so many times in our family. Maybe 5 of the kids had them.
Wow.
6. I don't know. It was a lot. And so anytime we get a fever, my mom was very cautious to like make sure that she would take care of it so it wouldn't get too high. She'd give us medicine to calm it, like to bring it down. But anyhow, needless to say, I remember Tylenol and ibuprofen were common for us to use. But beyond that, we would not do a ton of medicine. I remember once when the flu went through, it like was in our house for a month and a half. And we had antibiotics, I think, for that because it was so severe and it lasted for so long that I remember bottles of Tamiflu in the fridge for like with each person's name on them. And there were antibiotics everywhere. I just remember that for the flu because it was so bad. And like anytime strep throat would go through or something like that, we would take prescriptions for them. But aside from that, I mean, no one was on medications for anything. And I think that, we were fairly healthy and we didn't eat super healthy foods. We would eat a lot of just whatever. Like we'd make a lot of casseroles, but we were cooking at home all the time.
Yeah.
So I think there's a difference there where...
Well, there's definitely been, even in my upbringing and yours, I think families 20 years ago did not eat out nearly as much as we do now. I think the convenience and the proliferation of food, fast food restaurants and the availability of DoorDash and things like that, I don't know if this can be documented like across the culture, but I know for us, we eat out so much more with our kids than I did growing up.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's the side of it where when you look at our culture, we're so fast paced. Everybody's going places. We're playing sports, doing things. You know, there's travels. There's with the ability to do so much, you lose the ability to sit at a table as a family and cook a homemade meal.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just constantly going from one thing to the next, one thing to the other, you know? And so when you're able to like slow down a little bit and stay at home, then you're going to have healthier meals that you're cooking and you're going to be able to be more monitoring of what comes in.
How crunchy are you when it comes to food?
I want to be...
Is that the least crunchy of you?
No.
Oh.
No. Right?
I don't know.
So I think when it comes to food at home, we eat a lot of the same things. I don't love to cook, but I also...
Chicken and couscous is unbelievable. I could eat that every day of my life.
Thank you. So I love to make... It's like I try to buy organic eggs. Like I buy eggs from either organic if they're from the store or... from my friends.
Goodness.
Our friends actually have chickens.
Ginger, if I was a jealous man, I'd be jealous of your relationship with eggs.
Yes.
The other day, I think you ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner eggs.
You know why? Because I got lazy and I was like one of the only ones here with Finn. And I was like, I'm not making a meal for myself. So I ate eggs maybe for one too many meals because I like eggs. I can eat them for every meal and be so happy. And I'll just make them all different ways. I'll make an egg burrito with like all the stuff in it. I'll put some cheese, veggies in it, whatever I have. And then I'll make myself like scrambled eggs in the morning. Every morning I eat 4 to 5 eggs. You guys think I'm crazy? It's a lot of protein. I have to have protein in my diet. Otherwise I feel like I get like all shaky.
And you know what's funny is I don't like eggs. Finn, neutral right now. Felicity, no. This is like a sweet little bond you and Evie have.
Yes.
You share eggs in the morning with Evie?
Yep.
Evie's eggs and
this morning
her and mommy eat eggs together.
This morning they had Magic Spoon cereal because it's like a healthier cereal. So I let them have that this morning and she ate that. And then she saw me eating eggs and she goes, I want eggs. After she already ate like a bowl and a half of Magic Spoon. So I made her eggs and she ate them and it's great. But okay, so for our normal food, I do try to just buy a lot of the same things because I know, okay, this is convenient. I can make it. So I like meals that are like only 10 to 15 minutes of prep time. That's my preference. If I'm going to make a dinner, maybe it'll be more like 20. But in this season of life, I don't like to spend a ton of time in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But I also don't like us eating a lot of really junky foods. So I wish that I could just like get outside of this mindset of like, okay, let's like meal plan. Let's do all this stuff. I'm not a planner. Planning stresses me out and makes me depressed when I have to plan things out. So I'm like, I know what I like. I know what we like. I could eat the same meal every day for the rest of my life and be happy.
I'm into it.
But I make chicken, steak, salmon, or eggs for our protein. And then we will do a variety of things with that. So I will dice up the chicken and I'll make tacos on siete almond flour tortillas, which we love.
Yes. Shout out siete. Is that crunchy stuff or what?
Yeah, it's healthy. It's great. And they're almond flour, or they even have the cassava, I think it's called, flour, which is like a cactus, I think, plant tortilla. But whatever it is, it's healthy and it's delicious. So I get those, and then we'll put salsa, or sometimes if I'm feeling fancy and I want to take an extra 10, 15 minutes, I will dice up peppers and onions and saute those in olive oil and top them in the taco or burrito. And it's so good. So we eat tacos sometimes twice a week, and they're healthy. So I'll do like the organic chicken thighs. I don't like the chicken breast. I'm weird about chicken. If it's rubbery, if it's squishy, except for like Good Rancher's chicken is actually very good. It's very, very good. But some chicken, I'm like, it doesn't taste fresh. It doesn't taste as, I don't know, it gets like that rubbery texture when you cook it. So that's why I like chicken thighs. And I usually do the organic ones. And then our other go-to meal is pasta, which is not, it's not like, amazingly healthy, but it's a go-to. So I'll just
that's my people, Ginger.
I know.
That's perfectly healthy.
But I don't make my own sauce in this season of life. I did make your grandma's sauce for years.
Yeah.
And maybe one day I'll get back to that. But in this season, I will just buy a fairly decent quality pasta sauce. And then I'll put in like some ground beef or meatballs.
Here's the thing is Ginger also, you've heard her even say it just now, like a few times, I'm not the best cook. I don't like cooking. And sure, some people get all jazzed up.
I'm very insecure about my cooking.
Yeah, but also it's a matter of enjoyment. Like some people get jazzed up to be in the kitchen all day. And you don't so much, but it's like cook to stay alive kind of vibes.
Yes,
but
in certain seasons.
I just want you to know this. So I'm going to say this, with everybody listening here. Like, I'm a very simple man, and our kids, like, the meals you make, I could eat them every day. They're phenomenal. Like, couscous and chicken. You make the Israeli couscous is unbelievable. You make all the pastas, the rigatoni, meatballs, meat sauce. Like, it doesn't take a lot.
Well,
and
you're very
it's
kind.
delicious. Like,
I'm glad you don't get bored of it because I need to get outside of my normal cooking.
But it's also like you're cooking healthy stuff. So there's...
Yeah. And then I love to do like the sauteed, like I'll do either sauteed green beans, like the frozen French green beans are good, or you just put them on a pan in the oven at a super high temp and they kind of get crunchy. Felicity thinks they're like French fries. Mm-hmm. So we love to eat those.
Here we go talking crunchy again.
Yeah. And sweet potatoes diced up.
Okay.
Really good.
I've got another avenue. We got to talk another avenue of crunch, Ginge, because essential oils. Talk about essential oils. Talk about multi-level marketing. Talk about...
Do I need to get into that?
Yes. Talk about all the things, because we love essential oils. What's the brand?
So Young Living is the one that I've had some of, but okay, I have to say, so I like the essential oils and I use some Young Living products. Mm-hmm. I have like their house cleaner stuff that I'd used for years. I switched to Truly Free because I love the convenience of that. I love how it comes to your door.
Truly Free is unbelievable.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's healthy. It's all clean products. And that's been amazing. So yeah, I used some of that for a while. The essential oils, I have not figured out exactly how to use them. And so I'm not like as versed in it, I guess. That's just part of it. Right. And it's a learning curve for me. And it's something that I feel like would take more time and energy to like sit down and figure out. But I have very crunchy friends. So when they tell me, oh, you have a headache, use this oil, then I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe I'll use that and try it. But I'm not sitting down and taking the time to research everything.
But it works?
In this
like
season.
When you do, it works? I would always knock essential oils because people would be like, hey, if my kids had a cold, I gave them essential oils and like 3 days later, they were better.
And then you'd always say.
And I'm like, yeah, 3 days later, you're better anyway. Like, it's just cold ran its course. However... that was like years ago. I do think essential oils have benefits. We never did like the MLM part of Young Living. Mm-hmm. However, multi-level marketing can be sketchy because it can take advantage of people on products they don't really. I always felt differently about Young Living because Young Living's, I found a ton of people we knew were getting involved with the marketing and selling of it, not because they were trying to get rich quick and be part of like a scheme, but because they genuinely loved the products.
And it was an established brand.
Yeah.
And it was
then
quality
people
products,
that would buy the products enjoyed the products. So nobody felt like they were gypped. They were like, yeah, I get my essential oils. Oh, I made a few sales. This person made a ton of sales, whatever. I'm going to buy these oils anyway. Like it was a aspect of living where they were like, I want this product. Sure, I'll be involved in promotion of it or something. But it just felt less like MLM, honestly. It didn't feel like an MLM in the sense of like, I don't think we were ever part of it as organizationally, but it was like we could have been because we were just buying the products anyway.
Yeah, for sure. So. And I used a lot of the products and I still actually have some that are really excellent that I love. And I had like some mineral sunscreen that was really great from Young Living that I loved. So
sunscreen's a fascinating one because I've just seen headlines. So I haven't done the research. Again, I'm not claiming to be crunchy here, but the rates of skin cancer And I've seen something saying sunscreen is actually not helping with that. So
I don't put sunscreen on all the time, which is probably why I have more wrinkles and because I'm in my 30s. But I don't use...
Botox isn't working, Jen.
I don't use
LA
that all the
Botox.
time. But I definitely try not to use the normal sunscreens because they're so toxic when you do the sprays and stuff. It's like, ugh. I like the mineral-based sunscreens that you can apply. Like if we're going to be in the pool for hours or at the beach or in an area that has like heavy sun. But in the day when the kids are going out to play, I actually let them soak up some sun. I don't know if that's bad or good, but I do let them soak up some sun because I'm like, if it's not like beating down, we don't try to go out when it's 100 degrees. But yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So I'm not one who's going to study everything out for myself in this season because I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I kind of I'm very aware. So when I am thinking through what things are we doing for our family, I do try to cut back on seed oils. So I'm reading labels and sometimes I will buy a bag of chips that has a bad ingredient in it. And I'm like, It's fine. But then, like yesterday, I went to Costco and I read the back of so many labels and I was like, oh my goodness, these chips that for years I thought were pretty healthy, they're not.
Which ones?
They're like the kettle baked kind.
Oh no.
But then there's a kettle baked one that has avocado oil instead of seed oils. And so I was like, let's go for that one instead. Or I get the Siete brand, which actually are great. Again, this is not a sponsored thing, but I'm just saying it's so good. I like those. So we get those as like a special treat. And then the almond flour crackers. What is that brand?
Good.
It's the yellow and white box. Y'all might know.
Oh, so good.
But at Costco, it's amazing. And they're almond flour crackers with very few ingredients. So we buy those for...
The best for charcuterie.
We buy those for charcuterie. And we have those almost every single night. And so like I used to buy bagged popcorn that you put in the microwave. And then I was like, why don't we use a Whirly Pop and make our own? So we just do a little olive oil, sea salt, and then we could buy whatever kernels we want to go in. And things like that. So we're making tons of switches. And I'm just very aware now of all those things. And I see how health it's decreasing everywhere. And at the end of the day, God is sovereign. We don't want to be fearful. So say we had cancer or something. Well, God is sovereign in that way too. But we also realize, okay, we need to do our part to try to take care of what God's given us. And yes, we love a McDonald's ice cream cone. So we're going to go get a McDonald's ice cream cone and enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, we can't do that every day. So we're making little decisions that will benefit our family. And I think that part of the issue is we can, as a culture, we become so commercialized to where we're like, okay, we're just going to grab whatever's convenient because we're always on the go. Like I said, we're not slowing down to actually read and see what's in things. We're going. So we're like, we don't have any time for that. Well, you're going to make time for it when you're sick. So now is the time to think ahead a little bit and not to be paranoid, but to read what's in your food is healthy and it's helpful. So yes, if you look in our pantry, we will have some stuff with seed oils, but I'm trying to weed that out. I'm really trying to make those switches and it's expensive to do. So we're like, okay, what are the priorities? What things are we eating every day that's a must for us? Where can we make that switch? So if that is buying, less processed junk for a snack, then we'll do that. So I usually would get like fruit, and I've tried to switch our fruit to organic fruits, like for the Dirty Dozen, and switching those things over. Or maybe it's like for a protein. Maybe if we're eating chicken, I'm going to make sure I get the organic chicken because it's going to have, it's going to be hormone free, no antibiotics in it, all those things. So I'm trying to make those little switches, but it's hard. It is hard because we live in a time where you see so many people talking about it, but so many companies are putting ingredients and things or hiding them under certain labels of natural flavors to where you don't know what you're getting. You're getting chemicals.
So talk about then, because the chemical side is a big thing, and we have made that switch to Truly Free. And we've really enjoyed it. It was actually our dear crunchy friends, the Roloffs, who turned us onto it and said, you guys got to be looking into this brand. And they have a ton of products.
A ton of
And it's
products.
not just cleaning, it's detergents and things, soaps. So talk about what we've switched over with Truly Free.
Yeah. So I've switched all of our home products over to Truly Free. So our laundry detergent, it's actually really brilliant. They reuse the containers that you have. So I will get a laundry detergent container when you first get your shipment or whatever. And they send you this container. You pour a packet of liquid into your container, and then you just fill it up the rest of the way with water. You shake it up. It cleans your laundry so good. It comes out, it's so fresh. They have even the fabric softener version. Yeah. It doesn't have those scents that other brands would have, the traditional laundry detergents, but it smells fresh when it comes out because it's all natural products and they don't hide their ingredients. So I love that. It's very straightforward for us. So I use those for all of our cleaning products now. When you look around our house, we have their soaps, their dish soap, their dishwasher detergent. Mm-hmm. That's something that I had started buying, trying to find something that was kind of healthy. But even some of the healthier brands were still putting fragrances in there. So it's smelling. And then you're thinking, wait, am I eating that? It's going in the dishwasher. And then now I'm eating this chemical basically on my stuff because it doesn't all come off.
Right.
So those are just switches I've made. Now, I haven't been able to find the right kind of shampoo and conditioner. So if any of you guys have recommendations, please leave those for us because I'm trying to make a switch to those natural products. That's one of the last areas I haven't made the switch in is my hair products. So if you find any
Your hair looks great. To bring it full circle to the start of the episode.
This is all natural actually. I washed it and it has no product in it.
I like the fact that you've thought through these things and are so conscientious because it's just looking out for our family. There's so much that we're putting in our bodies, that we're eating, that we're breathing in, and the consumerism has kind of popped off and has gone crazy where people are just trying to sell products. And so the cheaper, more mass produced, and if you buy it, everything's the bottom dollar. And we stop thinking about our health. We stop thinking, what are we actually ingesting? What are we, as we go through that drive-through, because it's convenient, what really are we putting into our bodies?
Yeah.
And some people have become real spiritual about it. I know there's people homesteading and calling us to return to biblical foundations. And I will just say this. Yes, there is a biblical mandate to care for creation, to treat our animals with respect and dignity, to treat our bodies with care. We're made in the image of God to reflect his majesty and glory, and we're called to do that in all aspects of our life. So for the person who's it doesn't matter what you put in your body, it doesn't matter what you eat, we're just going to heaven one day. They don't have a holistic understanding of the Christian life. Mm-hmm. One pastor said it well, there's the old man before Christ, there's the new man in Christ, and there's the human. Old man, new man, human. God has made us as people, as bodies, as physical creatures, and we're called to reflect his majesty and glory in this earth, in our physical bodies. Mm-hmm. So as Christians, we should be thoughtful and conscientious about caring for what God has given us to care for. That was the original creation mandate in the Garden of Eden, to work the soil and to keep it.
And what is the imbalance in that though?
Yeah, so the imbalance in that is then you're going to gain a spirituality, or you're going to gain standing, or you're going to gain Christian maturity by living off the land. And what always happens, Bill Gothard used to do this. There's so many teachers who do this. They say, here's a biblical diet. And you realize, bro, the Bible was not written as a cookbook. Mm-hmm. The mandates given to Israel were not about nutrition as much as they were about set apartness. Mm-hmm. God was creating an image of Israel to show to the nations that they were different and separate. And so a lot of their food mandates were not nutritional, which is why in Acts chapter 10, God commands Peter, his apostle, to kill and eat food that had been forbidden to be eaten. because they were now breaking down the dividing wall between Jews and Gentiles, and the food laws were gone. So if God was giving those food laws to Israel because of nutrition, how silly would it be that his new covenant people, he says, hey, forget your nutrition, just eat whatever. It was never about nutrition. It was about separateness. And mind you, separateness of a people who they did not have a universal language. So if Israel was to be distinct, they could not communicate with foreign nations verbally. They had to be distinct in how they looked, in what they ate, what they didn't eat. And so there was a barrier of separation, and God used food as one of the barriers. Well, in the new covenant, he just completely eradicates that and says, Peter, kill and eat. And Peter, there's another time where he recoils from eating with Gentiles, and he's rebuked by Paul, sit down and eat. So it wasn't about nutrition. It was never about nutrition. So some people will take it too far and try to come up with biblical diets, right? And try to go to, what was the manna, that came from heaven?
Yeah.
And John ate locusts and honey.
Point.
They missed the whole point.
Because that's also something that, what is that passage that they're talking about? The teachers who will say that they forbid marriage and
1 Timothy
abstain
4.
from foods, which, God is given to be,
He's given to be received with thanksgiving. Yeah, so false teachers will. So that's where Gothard got into hot water, because he would actually forbid marriage and require abstinence from certain foods. And so he's in the realm of, legalistic false teacher. But some people just get real hyped up on it, and they want to act as if God's given a biblical mandate for all of these aspects of life. And he hasn't. Like, God doesn't say you can't go to McDonald's. He does talk about gluttony. He does talk about discipline and diligence. So we need to look for scripture and base our life off of what's biblical, but then not get into like weird territory of trying to over apply texts that weren't written for that purpose.
That's so good, babe.
Like when you read a historical narrative and you read it like a cookbook, you're reading it wrong. Like get your literature genres right, So anyway, we don't want to like wade into the waters of weird legalistic man-made spirituality when we start.
And fear as well, because I think fear can be a huge thing. And we see so many people around who are getting sick, who are coming down with things. And that is how, it's so sad, because you see the health is declining as a whole. Our health is declining. And so it does make you think twice before you go and eat a bag of Doritos, which is good.
Right.
And at the same time, it's like we need to be aware, and we need to, in our minds, we've sought to make those changes, and we're not going to buy that all the time. But yes, will I let my kid enjoy a snack or whatever? Yes, I will. But at the same time, it's like, that's not our normal diet.
Yeah.
So we're on
a trajectory of health.
We're trying to every day battle it out and figure out what we're going to keep out of our house. Yeah. Which is hard.
That's good. Okay. Well, I guess you're more crunchy than I am, but I appreciate your crunchiness, love.
I don't let you take, what is that stuff you used to take? NyQuil?
Oh, yeah. If I'm sick at night, I just want a little bit of NyQuil. This is one thing
where we totally disagreed. I did not know. I had no clue it was such a big issue. But whenever Jairus had a man cold.
Okay.
When he's had a man cold, I've said, no, don't take NyQuil. That's so bad for you. And I said, also, I don't want you to be just like knocked out. And I don't know.
Yeah, well, with kids now, that's important. But I there's nothing worse than having a cold and being woken up through the night 5 times, not being able to sleep, kind of in like that. You're midway between dreamland and reality, and it's just the worst.
But last time you had a cold, I went out and bought you NyQuil. Yeah, remember? Because you were feeling so rough.
It's true love.
Should have bought you a thing of essential oils, but
if you were really crunchy, you would have.
No, I don't like it when we take medicines for normal things, because it does need to run its course. Yeah. Or if you do some healthy remedy, that's fine. Medicines in that sense for stuff, I feel like it is just covering up your symptoms. Yeah. And it's going to make you sicker long term.
Sometimes I don't like the symptoms.
But you don't like the symptoms. So that's our one disagreement.
I'm proud of you,
Had to throw it out there.
You're a good mama. You're a good wife. And I guess we're getting crunchier. Hope you guys enjoyed this little chit chat. We'll link a bunch of this stuff below, actually, low key, like the Siete, Truly Free, maybe some Good Rancher's chicken, whatever. There's a lot of stuff that's healthy that we've been, and we're not experts on this stuff, but we're just doing our best.
Yep.
Like we all are. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe so you get updates. Follow us on the TikTok, on the Instagram. We're on Facebook as well. I don't know if I've started posting all the pods on Facebook.
I learned something new.
We hadn't been doing that for years, but you can follow us along for any updates. And we've got some fun episodes coming up. We've got some interesting guests that I think you guys are going to like with some very interesting topics. So stay tuned for more. We will see you next week.